Kind of like the other lighting better, actually. Oh, okay. I'm gonna show off my top 10 books of 2023 that weren't rereads, because I feel like I've talked about my favorite books a lot already. The Secret History, obviously, Book Lovers, Ignite Me, Unravel Me, you know, all that jazz. Those are my favorite books. We all know that. But I want to talk about like the book gems that I found this year that like I haven't already read, so that I can like share new ones with you. Because man, I love, what the heck? Okay. I love The Secret History so much. I love that book with my whole life. But honestly, it deserves its own video. It's getting one day. It's getting a whole video. I don't even care. So I'm just gonna share my top 10 books that I read. I read 38 books. Oh, I was trying to make it to 40 so bad, but whatever. I read 38 books. I did a slow and steady year. I had like 8 books by half the year, and then I just grinded for a while. I had so many that I wanted to read over the summer, and I just did it. I also read a lot of devastatingly awful books this year. I read so many bad books. I was gonna do a separate video to get into that, but I did read some real gems that I never read before, so let me go get them, I guess. I'm also not going to count the books I read digitally, because I want to be able to hold the book in front of you and show you this book physically in your face so you can see my annotations. So I'm not counting like Bunny, which was a 4.5. That book was so good, but I read it, I pirated it, so I'm not counting it. But I'll be right back. Dude, I'm realizing how many books I read this year that were just complete ass because I went and looked real hard. This is how many books I found. I lent Pride and Prejudice to my friend, so he has that. So that book would be, I guess we're doing top 6 because this is all I have. Anyways, so Pride and Prejudice would be number 6. Although it was not as good as Emma, I gave it 4.25, or yeah. And I did think it was good. I just did not like the story as much. It's making me sound like I hated this book. I really liked it. I liked the love interest. I liked Elizabeth Bennet more than I liked her in the movie, to be honest. But all in all, Elizabeth, she doesn't have like a lot of personality in my opinion. So she doesn't have a lot going for her. But I do think she's witty and I think she's smart. So my favorite sister was, I think Lydia's her name, the smart one. That was my favorite. And also her nice sister that gets married to a ginger in the movie. Why did they have to make him a ginger? I almost like shed a tear when I saw that. Gingers are not. Anyways, coming at number 5, we have Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott. And I don't know how I didn't read this book before, but I really enjoyed it. I have tab colors for all 4 of the girls. There's like way more tabs for Jo than there is anybody else. But, you know, it's fine. And I really liked, this has nothing to do with the book, I know. I really like the colors I used to highlight it. I used like a stormy blue color, I used a light purple, and I used a green, and then I used a red pen. And I thought it looked just stunning. Like, look at that. Can you see? Okay, whatever. But, oh, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Wait, let me go to the next page. I'm pretty sure the next page is crazy. Yeah. And the thing about me, oh my gosh, and I use brown. I forgot to say I use brown too. The thing about me is I don't use highlighter colors for a specific thing. I just use what feels right. So that's what made this really fun, because having like 4 highlighter colors made it pretty fun, and I just used the pen when I wanted. but that's off topic, me talking about annotating. I really did like this book. The reason why it is a 4.25 and not a 4.5, 5 or 4.5 or a 5-star is I can very clearly tell when it was intending to be a children's book, which there's nothing wrong with. It just wasn't like for me, that part of it. Like there would be some chapters just dedicated to it being like a life lesson for a kid who's maybe reading this. But the characters themselves were pretty complex and like the storylines were pretty complex. So I thought the rest of it kind of made up for it. There were some lines even. I love Little Woman from 2019, directed by Greta Gerwig. There's some lines in here. I know Greta added so much to the story, especially with like Jo March's monologue or whatever, but there are some lines in here that I just wish she added so bad because they were so good. There was so much details about Jo and Laurie that we kind of missed out on that were in here as well. I do not ship Laurie and Jo together, but I don't like him with Amy either. I went into this book not liking Amy too much from the movie, but because I don't know. I just didn't like her character that much compared to the other 3 girls. And then I went into this one thinking, well, everybody says I'm going to like her once I read the book. Everybody says I'm going to like Amy and Laurie when I read the book, and I just didn't. And I thought Amy was almost worse, but she was funnier. She did have some really funny lines that also wish was in the movie. So that's number 5. Numbers 4 and 3 were Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Good Girl Bad Blood. I have As Good as Dead. I'm a little scared to read it because people say that it goes downhill, and I can't tell if that's in a plot way or like just a book as a whole. But these 2 are both 4.5, and they were very good in my opinion. The only kind of setbacks is there's some things said that I just know won't age well, but I feel like in terms of characters, I really enjoyed it. I love Pip and Ravi a lot, and I think their relationship dynamic is cool, despite the fact that he's in university and she's 17 when it starts, but it's fine. But other than that, I thought the storytelling, the way they told the stories, kind of if you like when they add newspaper clips and articles and voice memos and stuff like that, that's what really makes these books feel authentic, because it felt really real. It was when we got to book 2 and they were talking about, oh, Pip's podcast is out now, and they were showing articles about it and what people were saying about it. I was wow, this feels like I'm reading about a real podcast that was maybe out. So both of them, they feel really real, and I thought they were really well done for YA. Sometimes YA can get borderline cringy, but I thought they were only cringy sometimes and appropriate also for the age. So yeah, that's 4 and 3. I kind of went backwards in time because Kiss of Deception is a 4.25. And I got this from my friend Kenzie, who, I shout out in every video, but it's fine. I got this from my friend Kenzie because she has a little book buying addiction. I'm so sorry, Kenzie. She bought the first 2 Kiss of Deception books, and one of them didn't come in, so she bought a new one, and then the first one, the original one that she thought got lost in the mail or whatever, came in. So then she had 2 of it, so she gave me it. Ooh, it smells good. Sorry. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. This is probably the only fantasy book I enjoyed this year. Every other fantasy book I read this year was literal torture. Maybe I'll put some examples up on the screen just in case I don't ever do a books I hated this year thing. This one was awful. So was that one. And that one. And that one. So this is one of the better ones. I do wish there was a little more world building. Very much a character focused book, which, you know what, love a good character focused book, but I always need more context. I thought the world was described beautifully, but I didn't feel like I knew where I was going really. It was kind of all over the place. That's why it's not 5 stars or 4.5, but it's 4.25, and I really enjoyed it. I really did like the characters though. I thought both of the two love interests were very good, and when the plot twist came around, if I hadn't searched it up like an idiot, then I wouldn't have known who which person was, because this book's premise is kind of like there is an assassin coming to kill her and there's a prince coming to bring her back because she ran away from her duties of getting married. And so you don't know who the assassin is and who the prince is, and it's kind of like a little guessing game, but I didn't know it was a guessing game and I thought I was just stupid, so I searched it up. Don't do that if you read this book, because it will ruin it for you. But it was good nonetheless. I thought it was good romance, and I am team prince. For once in my life. I don't know. And then the best new book I read this year was Emma by Jane Austen. And I could talk about this book for a while because this is one of the best books I've ever read. And I don't mean that lightly. This is one of the best books I've ever read, and it is one of my favorite books of all time now. Wait, I need chapstick, bro. My lips have literally been... Can you see that? They're like... They're literally like... I don't know what I did. They're not usually this bad. Okay. This book was written in 1816, and it still stands the test of time. It is still funny, it is still thought-provoking, it is still interesting, and it still has a good love interest, and that is saying something because so many books are read this year that were new, as of like, you know, last 5 to 10 years, had the worst love interests I've ever read about in my life. Meanwhile, in the world of boys, he's a gentleman. God, those straw went straight to my head. Anyways, wait, I didn't start the video off by singing. I need to add a clip in right now. Don't read the last page, but I stay. Anyways, Jane Austen is like... She's insane. I'm just saying, like, I can't... I like to think if I was in 1816, we'd be similar, but I really... She's probably cooler than me. I literally laughed out loud multiple times while reading this. And it's just so wise. And you think like, wow, how was it possible for her to be so forward thinking in a time about women's rights, even just like common societal issues that we as women deal with today. And I think Emma says something along the lines of, if a woman second guesses whether or not she ought to accept, then she certainly must refuse, or something. There was one line, till men start falling in love with like women's... I can't put the exact quote, I'll put it on the screen or something, like I'll put a clip from the movie.
Men do fall in love with well-informed minds instead of handsome faces. I am very much mistaken if your sex in general would not find these qualities the highest claims a woman could possess.
But it was like, till men do start falling in love with like intelligent minds or something, the outer beauty doesn't matter. This, if I had to recommend one classic, I've read a good deal of classics. I'm on my way. I want to read Persuasion and Northanger Abbey this year. But if I had to recommend one, and I don't think it's going to change because I love this book with my life, it would be Emma. So yeah, those are the top books I read. I really thought there'd be more, but it's kind of sad because a lot of the books I read this year just really did suck. So I don't know. This will be a short video, but it'll be good. You'll be watching this in the new year because I can't edit that fast. I have stuff to do. It's literally January 31st. But whatever. Thank you for watching. Me and my dried lips. See you in 2024. Whoa, that's crazy.